Well, g'day YouTube, my name's Lance, welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. This little chat is going to be part of the Massey Ferguson 65 playlist and probably video number 60 I think, and it's just tidying up a couple of loose ends that I come across in doing this job. Now, I get people talking to me through work and emailing me saying I've got to do the front seal on my 35, 65, 135, and can I just pull it out the front or do I have to do the second split and pull the PDO drive shaft out the back to get the gear to drop down to get the top input shaft, the main drive shaft and the PDO shaft, to get them out the top. So I knew the early tractors you could pull the shaft out the front, but I didn't know when that stopped and when that came that you had to do the second split. So on the 135 6-speed series, I think it is, I said about the split and taking it out the back, and I've just recently had some bloke watch a video and rip me a new one and tell me that what a load of bullshit, that second split, you pull them all out the front. And I said, well, no, I don't think that's right. And he said, no mate, look, I've been doing it 40 years on these Fergies, I've never ever had to do the second split, you pull them out the front. And he was from up Canada way. And I said, oh well, fair enough, you know, let that go, because perhaps they're all like that, I don't have a clue really. So anyway, when I come to doing the 65 gearbox here, I have the original workshop manual, and this is the proper 65 manual. I got this through the Friends of Ferguson Heritage. Jonathan Hare got it for me and sent it out to me. And so I read the manual here, and it said pull it out the front. So I thought, right, okay, that sounds all right, one of them. So I pulled the tractor apart. I've just finished filming, and I think video 59 in the series was pulling the front out, you know, everything in the bell housing, and I had a look at pulling the shaft forward because the book said, but on my tractor here, there's no way it would come out forward. I had to go out backwards. So that got me thinking, how do you tell? So if someone rings me up and says, or emails me and says, hey Lance, do I need to do the second split to pull the PDO drive shaft out to let the gear drop to pull the top out or not? What can I tell them? So I went and did a bit of research, and I'll tell you what I come up with. So now, if you pull the bottom plate off, and you can see this shaft here. So it's got big splines, that would be, look, probably 1.25 inches across. And you can see on this shaft that where the gear sits there, there's no circlip holding the gear on. You can pull this shaft forward, the gear drops down, you can pull the top input shafts out and do your seals without doing the second split. Now on our 65, this is the shaft there. So if you see a spline that's say 1.16 inches across, and the splines at the front there, not the bearing so much, this one has to go out the back. There's no way with the gear in place here and the circlip and the end of the spline there that this can go out through the bell housing. It has to go towards the rear, and there's the rear support there for the PDO shaft where the hydraulic pump coupler goes on. So I thought, well, I'll do a bit of research and I'll try and give some positive information about it. So we got the blackboard going, the whiteboard, blackboard, we're not racist here, yeah, whatever colour bloody board you want. Well, I've just got a white one. Now, what I found out by looking at the parts breakdowns, and if you go to AGCO and register with your local Massey Ferguson dealer, they have AGCO, they have parts book, and you can hop in there and you can look at different models, cross the parts over. I also have a parts book here. My parts book's a genuine one for Massey Ferguson 765 tractors. That gave me the same information as online. So this big shaft the shaft that comes out the front. So the big shaft part number is 801429M1. Now, if you have a Fergie 635, up to serial number 307657, that should be a 5, but I must have rubbed that out, catching the sign when it blew down before. They don't have the clamps here. So 307657 and before, it has the fat shaft that you can pull forward, pull out the front. If you have a 65, up to serial number 571857, the shaft comes out the front. It's the same shaft, it's a 180429, so on the standard 6-speed transmission, the dual clutch models, I should point out, I suppose. I don't know about the single clutch models, the standard tractors, the deluxe with the dual clutch. So on a 35 up to serial number 307657, it comes out the front, and the 65 up to serial number 571857, it comes out the front. So the other shaft, which is this one, it's a common shaft to quite a few models, and its part number is 18846M1. So if you have a Fergie 35, after serial number 307658, you must do the second split, pull this shaft backwards to let the gear drop to get your front input shafts out to replace the seals. On a 65, now the 65s were playing up a bit, so on a 65 between serial number 571858 and 609173, it has this same shaft as the 35, and it means that it needs the back or the second split, and the shaft comes out the back. So the shaft comes out the back to let the gear drop down, like I said before. Now on the 65, in the parts book, there's also a shaft number 899330M1. So that's after serial number 609174. And I'm pretty sure from what I can see that's out the back, but I would not be 100% sure. It was only the early ones that would come out the front. So I hope that clears a little bit of that up. I'm going to take a note of that and perhaps put it on the Queensland Tractor Spares website. I'm going to put it somewhere, so when people ask, I can head them to that, and they can have a bit of a look and sort out whether their tractor's there or not. So the long and the short of it is up to serial number 307657 for a 35 out the front, 571857 out the front, all the rest are out the back. So I hope that I hope that helps. There'll be a bit of a lapse in the videos for the 6-speed gearbox. I found a gear that's buggered on mine, and our range is this range here, 571858 and 609. Ours is something like 580015, I think it may be. So the input shaft for the PDO, on the 6-speed box out of the gold tractor, the spare box that we got out of the scrap metal dealer, the PDO input gear, which is the big one, it had helical cut gears on it. The later tractor, the much later 65, it has one more tooth at 19 teeth, and it has straight cut gears. So most companies, they started off with straight cut gears, and due to gear noise, they went to helical cut gears to give them better surface area and quieter gears. So these went back to front. So my gear is crook. I do have to find one somewhere. And I haven't even got a hint at where just yet. I'm having trouble finding an aftermarket one. I'll try and find one, but because of the pitfalls here with serial number brakes, I'm a bit cautious to go and buy a gearbox off somebody if it's an old tractor and the serial number tag's gone, because I may end up with this one that doesn't fit, or there's a couple of potholes to fall in there. So we may even have to go new. So the gearbox videos, there'll be a couple on, I've got another 2 on pulling it apart I think, or 3 coming after this video on pulling it apart. And I've got the differences between the 2 gearboxes, the 65 and the 35, coming up just from the parts that I got out of my box. So we'll see how we go. So look, it's just a short video. The main thing was to clear this up, which shaft comes out forward, which shaft goes out backwards. So hopefully it's of some use to somebody. And yeah, look, we'll catch you in the next video, eh?